Hey guys, today I'm playing some more City Skylines, Mass Transit, and last time we created Poor People Town South, which is in the north, because if east is this way, and west is this way, north is this way, but apparently I just didn't even figure that out, so... Yeah, I am going to change it to Poor People Town North, because that's where it is. I mean, I know the people in Poor People Town won't know that, because, you know, they're in Poor People Town, but still, you know... Yeah, not my proudest moment. I don't know how I was like, east, west, north. Oh, south even. Fuck, I fucked it up again. But anyway, that's fixed, that's rectified. Everything's good. So let's get building. What do we need? We kind of need shops, but again, I don't trust you, city people. You say you want shops, and then everything explodes and is ruined. So, yeah, we're gonna hold off on shops for a bit. Apparently there is a vehicle limit, which is probably causing the problems. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. You can limit where certain cars can go. So it would limit cars, but I don't really know where I'd limit them. I mean, I could stop industrial vehicles going into residential places, I guess. Maybe stop normal cars coming in here, encourage public transport more. I mean, do I do that already? It's free, so... You know, that's not great. It's not really the... Can I make them bike places? Maybe I should make more bike tracks. It's something you always start doing. You're like, oh, my city's gonna be full of bike tracks and paths, and then you're like, oh my god, this would take forever. Like, I haven't even fixed this bus route after I put in a double roundabout. And I'm not gonna. Because, no, I probably will actually take a look at that, otherwise that's gonna beep at me forever. So, just you go there. We good? That fix it? Oh, right, that could be an issue. Yeah, don't stop on the roundabout. Oh, there's a bunch of stops on the roundabout? No, there aren't. There was just one. That wasn't great. But this seems to be working alright-ish. I mean, see, my traffic solving solutions aren't great. I should have gotten a bunch of mods, but now I feel like it's a bit late in the series to change it up. But yeah, maybe if I did another series, I don't know that I would, but I would get a bunch of the traffic mods, because those actually allow you to do stuff. And for a while I was like, that seems kind of like cheating, but honestly, you know, it's pretty shit here. I mean, the normal traffic in City Skylines isn't great. Like, it doesn't handle things very well. Anyway, we need more shops, so I'm going to put them over here. Like so, because we never really finished the suburbs. You know, it's always evolving. You know, it's a constantly evolving city. Everything is always growing. You know, it's like how London is constantly being built. There's always cranes everywhere. Apparently there's more cranes in central London than, like, anywhere else in Europe or something, like, combined or something crazy like that. Maybe it's more cranes in the center of London than anywhere else in the country. Probably. But yeah, there's a lot of cranes. Whenever I go through Canary Wharf, there's, like, this tiny little bit of, like, land in between two skyscrapers, and it's like they're building an apartment block there because a bunch of business dicks want to live closer to their offices, and it's like, dude, just, oh my god, will then be just no space in the future? Will we have to never walk on the roads? You know, we'll have to walk on like platforms between buildings, because I'd be okay with that. Oh no, there's crime in the park near my tower. Shoot him. Is someone shooting that guy? There's a criminal to kill. Oh my god. Oh god. We need some police. Oh, you can go there. Yeah, that seems like a good place. Now go and kill him. There we go. He got killed. Woo! Alright. Police work. Alright. Still got a few people with not enough goods to sell, which is weird because they're right next to industry. It's right here. It's right fucking here. Go and get it, you dick. So... yeah, that's annoying. These people don't have any raw resources or whatever. Shit's actually alright here for once, mostly. I always look at this road and I'm like, yeah, I was going to do something over here, but then I got so caught up fixing over here that I never did. Anyway, maybe I'll just put some houses up there, I don't know. Maybe that'll just be the wilderness. I'm never going to fill up the whole map, because that would, I mean, I filled up maybe a quarter of the map pretty densely, and that's taken 40 episodes, and I don't really want to do 160 episodes. I mean, I could, but that would get old pretty quick. You don't want to, yeah. There's no end to this series though, because you could do it for basically forever, and I will have infinite things to talk about. So maybe I should just rename it podcast and then just play games with it. I don't know. I don't want to. I feel like I don't know podcast. I don't want to start an actual podcast. That seems like something. There's enough podcasts in the world, and it kind of seems like the thing you're supposed to do with like some other people. But I don't know, maybe not. I mean, there's often one-person podcasts, and I bring on guests, I guess. You know, get people, collaborate, build up that community, all those things they tell you to do to make your YouTube successful. All of them are lies, you know. Whenever I hear like people talking about how to make a successful YouTube, I've been talking a lot about making successful YouTube stuff recently, but anyway, doesn't matter. So, whenever you ever hear about how to make a successful YouTube channel, they're always like the 3 C's: consistency, collaboration, and community. And that's bullshit. Like, consistency, no. I mean, no, that's dumb. Look at CGP Grey, one of the most successful channels on YouTube. Utterly inconsistent. Look at a bunch of stuff. Consistency is bullshit. Like, I try to be relatively consistent, but like, I'm not gonna have a weekly schedule because that doesn't fit me. But no, I don't think consistency is that important in YouTube making. Then there's community. Community comes after you're already successful, so that's not really a thing that's important. Like, there's no point having a good Twitter following or a Discord or whatever if you don't have a YouTube channel, so that's dumb. This is like a lies we tell to children episode, but, and what was the other one? Collaboration. Yeah, dumb. So, that's not a good way to get successful for multiple reasons, the first of which is that you usually collaborate with someone around your size, and if you're both don't have a lot of followers, then there's no followers to share. Additionally, bigger than that is that from vapid kind of one-time or two-time collaborations, you get a bunch of like subscribers and then they just leave or don't watch because who the fuck wants, you know, it was just like, oh, I'll check this out, oh, it's not really what I want, and then, you know, it doesn't create good viewers. So yeah, that's my annoyance at the people saying there's 3 C's to success at YouTube. There is 1 C, which is create good videos that people want to watch and will find. That is the only thing. Collaboration can be helpful for me and Penguin, who've been, you know, working together for a long time. A lot of dead people here. A lot of dead people. And that's been good, but that was like, we were doing something that had to have multiple people, the Penguin and me. But, yeah, like, I think the best advice, I don't know why I'm giving YouTube advice, but I started, so I'll finish. Anyway, the best thing is just create videos people want to watch and will find. Yeah. Anyway, so if you were planning on starting a YouTube channel, that's the secret formula. Create good videos that people want to watch and will find, and then get really lucky. And then yeah, that's how to do. Anyway, why did I start talking about this? I literally don't remember. Oh yeah, I was talking about how podcasts, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I do an actual podcast. That's not enough of a challenge to the form, you know? Let's Play that is secretly a podcast. Kind of interesting. People are like, ooh, what's going on here? Podcast. Everyone's like, oh great, another fucking podcast. I've tricked you into listening to my podcast by pretending that I'm playing City Skylines, which I kind of am, but shittily, so, you know. I think I've won. I think I've won. You good for power? Good, don't need this wire anymore. Cool. How's Poor People Town? South, north. I'm never gonna get it right. It's going well. These are so nice. I wish I lived in a house like this. In a fucking flat like this. I live in Poor People Town. But I am poor, so it makes sense. Because I'm a student. I'm so poor. Well, I mean, you know, relative to slightly richer people, I'm actually fine. Yeah. I mean, I'm so poor, he said on his massive computer, sitting next to his other massive, powerful computer, surrounded by laptops and phones. Yeah, that's just because I spent all my money on it. Like, I already like steak and shit. I buy a lot of computers. Anyway. Alright, I'm gonna expand this shopping district out to here, then leave it and turn it into houses, and to remind myself, I'm gonna build some houses. There we go. And I'm turning this into suburbs. You know, you can see what's happening. But just in case you didn't, this is going to slowly merge into suburbs. The city will end over here. And then yeah. Okay, I think I like how this is going now. Right, how's this going to spread? I think this isn't going to be like a block. I think it's just going to kind of be a triangle of industry where it kind of cuts off. You know? Yeah, so you have to walk through the industrial estate to get to Poor People Town. I mean, it makes sense, you know? It's just where they work, they want to be close to it. Don't want to distract them with shops and theatre. That's no good. You don't want that bullshit, you know. That distracts you from the need to work, you know. Gotta work, gotta just work all the time. It'll be great. Don't think about the people having a good time, you know. Anywho, how are all my attractions doing? So a lot of people want to go to space. Fair enough. I want to go to space. Probably. I mean, I don't want to go on roller coasters because I don't like heights and acceleration, but a rocket will be fine. There's a purpose to it, you know, and it only goes on for like 10 minutes, so I'll be fine. Hey, a lot of people came to the luxury hotel. I don't know why that isn't called Trump Tower, but I think I've made that joke a lot. Hey, a lot of people visiting the aquarium. Not a lot of people getting to the zoo because there's a bunch of shit around. What about the Gherkin? 22, yeah, a few people coming in. Yeah, what about my stadium? Wow, that's an empty stadium. Oh my god, I think I'm dying. Okay, I'm good. Very quickly flicking from dying to fine. Yeah, these are some junky houses to be next to this, but it's got to sort of blend somehow, so yeah. Yeah, talking to space, just watched another SpaceX launch. They are fucking killing it. Like, the most exciting thing for me about SpaceX right now, other than the Falcon Heavy, which was like, just mind-shatteringly awesome, is just the frequency of launches. So the Falcon Heavy was, what, the 6th of February? And it's now the 22nd? Yeah, 22nd of February. And they just launched another one. And on the 25th, they're launching another Falcon 9. You know? It's crazy. They launched a Falcon 9 today as well. And it was on a reused core out of Vandenberg. It was carrying 3 satellites. They are just destroying this. It's gonna... Like, everybody else in the launch market is just fucked. Like, they can't keep up with the pace or the price or the, you know, growing reliability of SpaceX. Like, they haven't had a rocket explode in a while. They actually have a pretty good track record. They've had a few, like, what, 3 explosions? I think 2 in the air and 1 on the ground. Or was it just 2 explosions and a partial failure? I don't know. But anyway, it's pretty great, you know. SpaceX is killing it, and that's good shit. That's good for all of us, probably. It depends if Elon Musk is actually really evil or not. I'm halfway between him being like the one who will save us all, and Hugo Drax from Moonraker, the James Bond book and film. Did they do a film of Moonraker? I don't know. I actually haven't seen enough James Bond films, but I'm reading the books right now because turns out if you don't. Like, if you read before bed, you sleep way better. Something your parents tell you forever, they're like, if you don't look at a screen before bed, you'll sleep way better. And you're like, fuck you, Mom! I'll do what I want to play video games right now. That was me for a long time, and then I was like, maybe everyone in the world is right, and I'm wrong. And they were, and now I sleep good, because I read before bed. Anyway, so yeah, I'm thinking, though, that so Hugo Drax in Moonraker basically builds a missile. He's working on an intercontinental ballistic missile. It's Britain's missile. It'll be able to hit anyone in Europe, and it'll stop anyone from fucking around. You don't have enough services. Yeah, you do. You dick. Fuck you. Yeah, oh, you don't have cops. I will put another firehouse in as well. Anyway, but basically it turns out he's evil and does a bunch of shit. And I'm thinking, if it turns out Elon Musk is evil, he does have quite a bit of power. I mean, firstly, he's now an arms dealer of flamethrowers. Shitty flamethrowers, but flamethrowers nonetheless. It's a small step from shitty flamethrower to good flamethrower. And then he's also creates intercontinental ballistic missiles, which are reusable. Just bomb, fly back, load, bomb. You know, he can do it forever. And he's probably going to take over Mars. People say colonize Mars. I'm thinking take over Mars. I don't trust that man. No, I think he's probably a good guy. Or just playing a really long game and being an evil guy. But yeah. Yeah, oh, the flamethrower thing. That was cool. Although a lot of people complained about it. Well, they didn't complain. Well, some people complained about it because it was fucking stupid and dangerous. But there was a lot of complaints about, this isn't a dangerous enough flamethrower. I want a more dangerous flamethrower. It was like, oh my god. Oh, talking of weapons. I had a thing on my list of topics. It was actually a question for probably not all of you, but I assume there's some like gun people listening. And this actually isn't about gun control, which is a pretty big topic right now. I've talked about that kind of stuff in the past, and I don't want to be just. You probably don't want to hear about that after just all the stuff is plastered all over the news. But anyway, no. My question is much simpler. So, for gun people who are watching, how come a .357 caliber weapon can fire a .38 special round? Like, I've been watching a few videos of stuff because you know I find guns really interesting, and whenever the people are firing a .357, they're always like, yeah, this can also fire .38 special, and sometimes they do. How does that work? Because a .38 is a very different caliber from .357. How does that work? You can't put a 45 ACP into a 44 Magnum. Like, that, how does it... So, tell me in the comments how the fuck you can put a .38 special in a .357 weapon. Like, is it not .38 caliber? Was it the year it was built in? Maybe that's it. Maybe the .38 special was made in 1938. But that would be so confusing. What kind of a dick names their round 38 when it's not a 38? I don't know. Anyway, tell me, I'm very confused, and a cursory Google search didn't solve it for me. So yeah, .357 in a 38, what the fuck? Get your shit together, guns. Anyway, yeah. Oh. Okay, how we good? How's school? How we... 9% uneducated, that is not a lot. That is not a lot uneducated. How are they getting into schools? I built too many schools. We'll cut them off at educated, though. Not a lot of people are going to get into high school. They won't get much more educated, but they won't get very much more uneducated. And so many people getting into university. You don't want to go to university, man. It's no good. It's you know, it's actually pretty good. Go to university if you want to. You know, it's fun. You get to do dumb bullshit all the time. Well, or if you're me, just work all the time, because, I don't know, I like working. The problem with school is there's never a... Well, school and most of the things I do, so university and YouTube as well, there's never like a point where you're like, okay, that's a day's work, because like, you can always do more. And then you always feel bad for procrastinating. Unless you actually schedule yourself, which I have, so it's getting better, but still, I don't know. Homework is an evil thing. I hated it in high school, hated it in sixth form, still kind of hate it, you know? Oh fuck, I'm putting in way too much industry, what am I doing? Got distracted talking about 38 caliber rounds going into a 357 gun. That's stupid! God, man, get your shit together. Alright. We need more shops, but I'm so hesitant to put more shops in, because last time I put more shops in, the world ended. But then I did solve it mostly with imports, new industry, other imports. You know, maybe it's not the end of the world. Maybe I just need some more leisure specialization. Yeah, fuck it, let's put some more leisure specialization in. They probably need less products, right? Although whenever I put in leisure, everyone complains in the Twitter thing, like, yo, what the fuck, bro? You put a restaurant in my town? Gone forever. And it's like, dude, where, you just eat at home all the time? I don't even do that, and I'm poor. Get some culture in your life. Is it cultured to go to restaurants? I don't think so. Well, I guess museums and shit. I like museums, but oh my god, do they get boring after a while. Like I'm an intellectual guy, you know. I like history, but there's just something about museums which is inherently a bit boring. Like, is it just me? Am I just an uncultured fuck? Or is it like, just... it's not that they're fatiguing. Like, my feet get tired, I get tired of walking around, I don't want to read all day. If I wanted to read all day, I'd buy a book. Maybe I'm just uncultured, but I find museums... Although, interesting, and a lot of the time I do enjoy them. Sometimes after too much museuming, they get really boring. I think it's safe. Never go to more than one museum in a day. You know, that's my advice for life. Just stick to one museum a day. And you know what? Not even on consecutive days. One museum every 3 days if you're in, like, New York or London or something, and you're like, oh, I better go to this museum. That's my advice. You know, don't go to too many museums. Go do something fun. I am uncultured and I am proud of it, because I'm not uncultured. I just get fatigued really easily in museums. Alright. Yeah, well, we're making our money. We're getting money back. I raised taxes a little bit, mostly on people. I'm also going to raise it on shops and offices. I'm going to raise it on everything, because I want that money. I don't need it, but I want it. No, I'll leave it off shops, and we want to stimulate shop growth and industry growth, so we're going to do that. Alright. Party all night long. Hashtag I love the city. Hashtag leisure specialization. That's hard to say, leisure specialization. Oh wait, no it's not. Yeah, I know, dead people, whatever. We are finally recycling. I can't wait to separate all my trash into different piles. The batteries go with the metals. Hashtag life choices. Firstly, that is not a life choice, and secondly, batteries go into a different bin, I've been informed. I don't know, I don't have batteries anymore, because who has batteries? I don't have a TV, so where would they go? Like, they can't go in the TV remote. Everything else is rechargeable now. I guess fire alarms? I haven't checked if mine work. I may die, but it's fine, because I live in a one exit, and the exit is pretty close to the kitchen. Yeah, well, you know, it's gotta die somehow. But no, I don't recycle batteries, and it's really hard to recycle in my apartment complex. It sounds way douchier when I say that, but yeah, it's just a complex of shitty flats. It's really hard to find where you recycle, so I'm actually not very good for the environment right now because I'm really fucking lazy, and I think that's a valid excuse. Daddy, why are there no polar bears? I don't know, man. I couldn't find the fucking blue bin. There was like 3 bins. Fuck you. Get out of here. Oh, that'll be great. Why didn't you do something? I would have if they'd labeled it better. Fuck you, kid, you judgy fuck. Destroying the world. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, well, I should find a topic and some water. I'll have a sip of water and then find a topic from my pad. Alright. Jesus, none of these are very... Fucking hell. Jesus, Peter, what... Existential much? Yeah. Oh, there was a funny thing I saw. It was on Valentine's Day. I was scrolling through Twitter, as I do. And I saw YouTube's tweet. You've probably already heard about this, but it was just so funny. It was YouTube tweeted, "Roses are red, violets are blue. Subscribe to black creators." It was like, yeah, I mean, probably, you know, yeah, of course, but it was so clunky. Like, roses are red, violets are blue. Subscribe to black creators. It's like, that was the clunkiest fucking thing I've ever heard. And a lot of people got annoyed because it was like, that's such a... It's just a weird thing to say as well. It's like, yeah, I mean, I think people are, and yeah, maybe there is a bias on YouTube, but literally just being like, do this isn't a good way. But mostly, I think it really was just the clunkiness of rose and red, violets are blue, subscribe to black creators. It's like, okay. So yeah, that was funny. Yeah, and Twitter's been alight with arguments about Black Panther as well. A lot of race stuff on this, but they were. I spent too much time on Twitter. I've just been looking at this and I'm like, yeah, if I wasn't on Twitter, none of this would be a problem. But yeah, the Black Panther movie, that was a big thing, you know. One of the not the first black superhero in the. I think it was the first film about just a black superhero though, because there was also Falcon in the MCU, so that's good because like. Bit whitewashed recently, isn't it? You know, just a lot of rich, white, jacked fucking guys walking around saving the planet. But no, a bunch of people were like, "Oh my god, that is awful that you would make a Black Panther. Why isn't there a White Panther movie?" It's like, there is. It's called Thor. If you're looking for king of a country who is white. Oh no, the tweet was like, could you imagine if there was a movie called White Panther about a Nordic king, and it's like, yeah, there is. It's called Thor, you fucking idiot. It's funny when people are like, well, it's not funny. It's kind of awful, but when people are like, just, how can I just have no idea how someone could have like such an actual problem with the movie Black Panther having black people in it. It's like, yeah, man. Obviously, it's about an African king. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then there was a bunch of like fake news about white people who go to the theater and get like attacked. People will be like, "Oh no, you can't watch this. This is a black person movie. You can't, white man." But no, I think most of that was just lies, like really easily debunkable lies. But yeah, apparently there's still pretty serious racism in the world. So that's good. Yeah. I'll never get it myself. I don't see what the problem with other people is, you know? Oh, I don't know. But apparently it also wasn't a very good movie. Like, it was probably fine, but of course it wasn't going to be a great movie. It was a Marvel movie. Like, Marvel movies, okay, off Black Panther, if you think it's a problem because it's got a black guy in it, you're probably just an asshole. That's the point of that. But anyway, yeah, so it's a Marvel movie, so it wasn't great. And obviously a lot of people were just fucking happy that there was a movie about a black superhero. But it was just another Marvel movie. Like, you know, they're all the same. It's like nothing like, wow, this is great. It's like, this is pretty good CGI. It's got a very samey story. There's a token love interest. There's a battle that the superhero wins at the start. Then there's a battle in the middle that he loses. And then there's a battle at the end with the guy who he lost to that he wins about. Oh my god, I didn't see that coming. And it's like, yeah, that's you really fucking... They're just so predictable. Like, I like Marvel movies, right? Oh, okay, right. I'm gonna fucking list them and... So, Iron Man. Fucking amazing movie. It was like, oh, this is great. It's fucking Iron Man. It's got Robert Downey Jr. in it. It's great. Captain America. That was pretty good, you know? That was a good movie. Thor. Damn good movie. It was about Thor. About a Norse god. That guy's attractive. Then what was it? I think just Avengers after that, right? Fuck yeah, they're all together. We got Hulk now. We got fucking some other people. Oh shit, this is awesome. And then there was Iron Man 2. It was like, that was shit, but it had Elon Musk in it, so whatever. And then there was Captain America 2, and it was like, that was fucking amazing. Then there was Thor 2, and it was like, ah, this is pretty good. And then there was Avengers 2, and it was like, yeah, not bad. And then there was Iron Man 3. Actually, I think Iron Man 3 came before Avengers 2, but whatever. I'm not listing them off in order. And then, yeah, anyway, then it was Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, and it was like, there could be maybe a little less Pepper Potts than that. And then there was Captain America Civil War, and that was pretty great-ish, a bit, sort of, it was fine. But they're all fine, but they're all the same. There's no, I don't get why people get so excited still. It's like, this is the same movie again. Like, after about 5, you're like, yeah, this is the same movie again. You could just, yeah. I haven't watched any of the new ones. I haven't seen Black Panther. I haven't seen, oh, I did see Ant-Man as well. Okay, yeah, Ant-Man. Also, yeah, okay, Paul Rudd's good. I guess this is a movie. So that's my review of all of them that I've seen. But yeah, I didn't watch Spider-Man. I didn't, there's probably a bunch I haven't seen. Was there another Thor movie? Was there another Iron Man movie? Was there a... I'll probably watch Infinity War. That looks cool. It finally has Thanos. Oh, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Great. That was funny. That was fun. That was just a great film. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was shit. Like, a lot of people liked it, but it had some serious pacing issues. And just some focus issues. Like, it didn't feel as coherent as the first one. I think it's because it took so long to just reveal what the enemy was. And I guess it was different from the other Marvel films a bit, but yeah, it was fine. Anyway, yeah, but I've kind of... I'll watch him when I watch him, you know? I'll probably see him on Netflix. My attitude, actually, about Star Wars now is also, I'll fucking see it on Netflix. Like, I didn't watch The Last Jedi over Christmas because I was too busy, and then after I had exams and shit, and it's like, I'm too busy, and apparently it's only okay. Like, The Last Jedi, it'll be fine. I'll see it on Netflix, you know? I don't want to be this guy, but I have to say, Disney kind of fucking ruins everything. Disney films are good. Pixar is great, mostly, except they've started doing a lot of sequels, and they're no good. I'm sure, you know... Actually, I don't know. I'm worried about Incredibles 2. But yeah, Cars 2, that kind of been good. Cars 3? Oh my god. Just make original movies. Jesus. I've also heard Inside Out, despite being quite good, was kind of done a lot, hasn't it? Because it was like, oh, this is so amazing, it's about emotion. It's like, yeah. Like all those other films about people who sit in your head and control you. Like, that's been done a lot, man. That's not new. Just don't get so fucking worked up just because it's a kid's film. Yeah, I have to say, yeah, films are getting shit. They're not getting shit. Films are fine, but they're just getting a bit boring and the same, and I think I blame Disney for it. They own Star Wars, so Star Wars The Last Jedi. No, Star Wars The Force Awakens. Good film. Exactly the same as Star Wars A New Hope, or just Star Wars, if you're a purist. Rogue One. The thing with Rogue One, right, is it was a good movie. It had a lot of amazing cinematics. It had a pretty good moving plot. It was a little all over the place. They probably could have left out a planet or two, or just, I don't know, skipped over a couple of things. And, you know, the ending, I'm not going to spoil anything, but maybe just skip ahead 10 seconds if you don't want to know anything. 20 seconds. The ending, you know, how they ended Rogue One, super brave for a Disney movie. Didn't see it coming, it was great. And, yeah. So, yeah. But still, despite all of that, I don't remember a single name of a single character from Rogue One. From, Last Jedi, I could name you a gajillion. Like, not Last Jedi, Force Awakens. There's Finn, Rey, Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma, there's Oscar Isaac's character, Poe Dameron, there's Leia, obviously, there's BB-8. I can't even tell you the name of the droid from Rogue One. He was great! I don't fucking remember the name, you know? So, yeah. I have to say, I think Disney really... I mean, there'll be a lot of Star Wars, and they'll be fine. And I'm sure, you know, Last Jedi was a momentary dip, and the next one will be great. But... I don't know. I also think they have to be a bit brand safe now. Like, you want a little bit of brutality, and I mean, there's a little bit in Rogue One, but I don't know. And yeah, and Marvel movies have the same problem, where they're always the same. It has to be safe, and they know they're gonna make money because it has Marvel on it or whatever. But yeah, it's yeah. Oof. But hey, there's a lot of good other different movies coming out, and I think Netflix is actually doing a decent job these days of making pretty interesting movies and TV. I mean, it's no longer a mark of it's no longer a mark of quality like it used to be when they were just doing a few series. Like Pacific Heat, for instance, is the worst piece of shit I've ever seen, and that's a Netflix original. It's like a fake Archer, which is just shit. It's like trying to make the same jokes but with no self-awareness and no timing, and like Archer has a few, you know, slightly racist jokes, and it comes off funny because it's done extremely well. But when Pacific Heat does it, it's just racist, you know? Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of good Netflix stuff. And a lot of good other stuff. You know, there's not just Disney films, are there? They're just the ones a lot of people talk about. But the one I really did like, I think I've mentioned this before, but Meyerowitz Stories came out on Netflix, and that was... Not only was it a fun, good, refreshing movie that was done in an interesting way, it was a good Adam Sandler movie. Adam Sandler's been a bit shit recently, in the last 10 years, but it was... He's a really good actor. He must have just had money trouble. But seriously, Meyerowitz Stories is just... It's amazing. It is just... It does conversation in a realistic way that isn't annoying, which is very difficult for a film to do. Like, yeah, you have to pay attention, but it's not annoying, which is difficult. But yeah, anyway, that's my review of all the films in the world. That took way longer than I thought it would. I just wanted to talk about racism, but then I got onto the much more toxic subject of if Marvel movies is shit, which they are. Well, no, they're not shit. They're just not. They're all the same. There is not Marvel movies. There is Marvel movie. You could watch one and you would get the exact same experience as watching any of the others. So yeah. But no. Yeah. That was. I guess that's the end of my film thing. What else do I have on this list of things? List of things to talk about. Yeah. So I've been. I've just found on YouTube Jordan Peterson, who is a lecturer at, I've forgotten which university, it's one in America, but you may well have heard of him because there was a lot of news around him for a lot of reasons. But basically, he's a psychology professor, and he's a genius, pretty much. I mean, linguistically, like, I don't know, well, it's hard to classify genius, but he's extremely good at talking and debating, and it is just fun to watch. But he's quite a controversial character, actually, because I think it was because of not using people's preferred pronouns. So if you don't know what that means, that's so more and more these days it's becoming accepted and more in the forefront of our view that people often don't identify as the gender that they were assigned at birth. So, you know, transgender people. And he got a lot of flack for not using people's pronouns. So, I guess, I don't exactly know what that means. I guess people who were born women want to be called he or him. I guess that's what it means. I'm not entirely sure. And the really interesting thing about that isn't, you know, the pronoun thing. Because personally, I think you should fucking use people's whatever they want to be called. Because I don't think it's like an attack. I don't think it's hard to just, you know, be like, if someone wants to be called him and, you know, was born a woman, just fucking call them him. You know, if it makes them happy, if it makes them more comfortable, if it makes them just their life better, just fucking do it. But anyway, that's not the point that he was making, which is a really important distinction. So the problem with this is not when you should call people something. It's when you have to. It's when it becomes a law. And I think where he's lecturing, which actually might be in Canada, not the United States. But anyway, there was some legislation, I'm pretty sure in Canada, about making it basically the law that you have to use someone's desired pronoun. It was probably more complex than that, and I'm oversimplifying, but it was effectively something like that. It was the limiting of effectively free speech by the government. Which, no matter the purpose, even if it's a fairly benign, potentially, you know, potentially good thing, like, you know, getting people to feel more comfortable with their pronouns or whatever, you know, it's obviously a problem because it leads towards a left-wing fascism, basically, where there isn't much difference between, yeah, so left-wing fascism is, you know, like, you experience with Stalin. Like, there's not really much difference between Stalin and Hitler, really, when you break it down. He just wasn't a problem for Britain, so, you know, so we don't see him as the bad guy. But yeah, so basically his complaint was not that people identified as other genders, it was that there was a movement to force people to say that, and obviously you should be against that. I'm against that. I'm perfectly in favor of, yeah, fuck it, being politically correct, calling people whatever they want to be called. I have no problem with anyone who doesn't identify as the gender they were born as, because why the fuck would you? Like, how does that affect you to have someone else just be a little different? But yeah, when it becomes like a law, then it's like, okay, well now we're moving towards a left-wing authoritarian government, and that is really bad. That is yeah, as bad as living in Nazi Germany. Obviously, a few steps removed currently, but yeah, and basically, it's the interesting thing is no one seemed to be able to detach the point he was making about authoritarian governments from him being, in quotes, disrespectful to the transgender community. Like, no one could seem to separate that. They'd be like, no, he just hates trans. It's like, no, he clearly doesn't hate transgender people. He's clearly, you know, smart enough to see that things can be complex. And he's also smart enough to hold a complex point of view where he won't give into this because he's a fucking intellectual, so he's not going to give up his ability to speak. Yeah, and it was depressing. But the thing I've noticed about myself from listening to him talk a lot is he's a little bit right-wing. And that's fine, obviously. You know, I'm a little bit left-wing. Maybe a bit left-wing a lot of the time, because I go to one of the most liberal universities in the country, and although I hate to admit it, I think it has infected me with some pretty, you know, left-wing views. And it's not that I don't like the left-wing, or the right-wing, or whatever, it's just that I don't really want to be on either, because I feel like that's a really lame way of... It's just if you can define your views with one word, it's no good. But yeah, no, the thing I noticed is when he was talking about something I was finding very interesting, he was talking about the gender pay gap to this lady. There's a great debate. No matter what you think of the gender pay gap, or the woman he's arguing with, or himself, the debate is amazing, and he is clearly a genius, and it was just fantastic. Now, he was saying some interesting things, some things I'd never thought about in relation to the gender pay gap, how it's not all about discrimination, how it's about a lot of factors, and a lot of things you probably wouldn't want to hear, if you were, you know, if you... It's a lot of things a lot of people don't want to hear, like how it is somewhat biological, because women tend to be more agreeable, which makes it less likely that they will get pay raises. You know, it's things like this kind of ingrained things that you don't want to believe a lot of the time, because they sound kind of a bit sort of... I don't know, can't even think of the word, but like you say, well, men are just better at this than women. It sounds like a shitty thing nowadays. And, you know, sometimes it's true. And I don't know about the validity of that. But the thing was, the important thing, which I'm taking a very long time to get to, is he started talking about what the radical left were doing, in quotes. And I'm not radical left, I'm a bit left. And I don't identify as that, and I really in my head never wanted to be one of the people who was like, fuck you, that's my side, don't you dare say that. But in my head, when I was listening to him talk, even though I was finding him interesting, I was agreeing with a lot of what he was saying, disagreeing with a little bit of it, but whatever. I found myself when he said, this is what the radical left is doing, there was like something in my head that was just like, hey, what do you say about my side of this? Like, even though I'm very far from radical, I would barely call myself a progressive anymore because of what that has become. Like, but I've realized that it has become ingrained in me as it is in a lot of ways. When you hear someone say, the left is doing this, you're like, hey, fuck you, that's my side. Or the right is doing this, it's like, hey, fuck you, that's not what's happening, that's my side. And I never thought that would happen to me, you know? I never thought I'd be so kind of... I can't think of the word. It's not jaded, but almost like that kind of thing where your political views sort of become a part of you. And yeah, and they're not I tried to separate them, but no, it's just, and it wasn't that I even disengaged or don't like the guy because he was saying something about the left. It was just there was a slight flick in my head that was like, now I'm listening slightly less, and it was like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? But anyway, yeah, that probably didn't make a ton of sense, but yeah, I've been, I don't know, I feel like I've like politically lost a little bit of like critical thinking faculties while being at university almost, because it is a big echo chamber, especially where I am. I mean, most of my friends aren't very like the very extremely left people at my university, but you know, it's hard not to it's hard not to take a lot of that in. I mean, for instance, my girlfriend studies English literature, which, you know, has a lot of elements of you know, feminism and the ideas of gender, and, you know, a lot of stuff I agree with, but I don't know, I feel like part of that as well is reflected off me and made me sort of slightly more tied to a side of the political spectrum than I'd like to be. And yeah, it's just something I noticed in myself, and something maybe you should think about in yourself. If when you hear someone say something about the right, like if I were to say, God, the right are all racists, you'd be like, fuck you. Although actually that would be something you could say fuck me at. I can't think of a good example. But yeah, when someone's making a valid point but starts to blame something even validly on the side of the spectrum that you're on when you get annoyed, think about it. Because I've started to, you know, it's just a little worrying, you know. But, you know, you got to work on it. You just got to keep track of these things and stop yourself from blindly following anything, is basically my point. But anyway, that got a little heavy at the end. I knew it wouldn't fit into 5 minutes, so we've run a little long. But, yeah, and also if you're interested in just smart people, Jordan Peterson, interesting. He holds a lot of complex points of view, and it's interesting and challenging to listen to him because it's like, huh, I agree with this but not this, and this but not this, and it's like, well, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it doesn't matter, you know? Anyway, yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope my topics weren't too much, and if you are a gun person, tell me about the 357-38 special thing. How the fuck do they fire the same round? Anyway, yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been episode 41 of City Skylines. I will see you next time.